Katina, how are
Oh,
you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm
We
doing
finally
well.
on.
Finally, finally we figured it out. That was my fault. So thank you so much for bearing with me.
Oh, not a problem. Thank you for having me.
I so appreciate your patience. I was telling everyone a little bit about how I met you, and I thought it was in 2020 during COVID, but I'm like, no, it was pre-2020 because it
Mm.
was when I was like, it was like 2017, 2018. I remember I first
Yeah.
started Pilates, and I saw you and your beautiful athleisure on Instagram.
Oh, thank you. I know that time has gone by so fast, and I do remember because I think that Mickey Fit had like some type of she
Yes.
did something, and you that's how she had like a giveaway or something like that, or no, it was a challenge. Mickey had a challenge. That's what it was.
And
Yeah, and I just
your
remember
memory is
reposing.
much better than mine.
Yeah, and I remember mailing you the leggings.
Oh, and I still have them. I told you I still have them, and I love them. I call them like my Barbie leggings. That's
Yeah,
what they remind me of.
it's really funny that I get like messages from people. They're like, "I've had these leggings for 9 years and they're still amazing." I'm like, "Oh."
They are still amazing. And so I see you sitting there. It's early in the morning. It's same timeline here. So it's a
Yes,
little past 10
absolutely.
a.m. in Jamaica as well. What are you sitting there sipping on?
I am sipping on some soursop, lemongrass, and guava leaf tea with a little bit of ginger.
Do you make that yourself?
I do.
Can you, okay, like I'm in New York. I don't have access to these things. The most I can do is like, go to the supermarket and get something that's a blend. But are you talking about making it like from a pre-made tea bag? Or are you talking about actually
So I'm I'm talking about going to the tree and picking a leaf and letting it quell. And when you say quell, it's like you letting it dry, right?
Okay, I was going to say I don't even know what that means.
Well, yeah. So you let it quell, which means you let it dry, and then that's how I make my teas. I'm so blessed here in Jamaica because this place is magical, full of so many botanicals. Like even in our yard, we have like so many trees. We have like mango, guava, coconut trees, soursop trees. God, we have it's Jamaican apple. I can't even pronounce the name of it, but my husband showed me yesterday that they're growing. So I'm going to have apples that are delicious. And yeah, oh, and we have pear, pear trees, but in Jamaica, pear is our avocado.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. And then and then on our farm we have like a lot of other like little trees and plants and things like that. So, but yeah, this place is paradise. So that's what I'm sipping on this morning. I make sure I have my tea. It's like a my morning ritual is
Okay,
to
so
have tea.
I've got to learn a little bit more about the tea. Like, I'm so curious. You said soursop, you said ginger. What else?
Uh-huh. Soursop. I have ginger, guava leaf. Yeah, guava leaf, and lemongrass.
Okay, so I'm sure that each ingredient has a specific purpose.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, they're full of antioxidants, the phytochemicals and like your plants. Um, and it's just healing, nurturing for your body. I mean, so yeah, so this is like I said, like I try to have like my tea ritual in the morning, and it's just a way of me like adding some healthy benefits to in the morning.
I
So
love that. And I imagine, I know that, for me, it definitely like having a morning ritual brings a sense of centering, I guess you can say,
mhm,
to the
mhm.
morning. Is there anything else that you do to set that sense of center or to give yourself that morning ritual?
I do. Like first, I do try to go to bed like early so I can be refreshed in the morning. That's really, really important to me and to my well-being. I also like to meditate,
Okay.
you know. Yeah, and it can be even, I can even still be lying in bed. I'm just closing my eyes, just setting my intention or a little creative visualization. I like to practice that as well. And then I get my day started. I move, I 'cause that's so important. Like if I don't do like a 50-minute class or something like that, I move, it's stretching, doing some yoga, jumping on my rebounder for a couple minutes, before I get my day started. And then I have my morning tea.
So, okay, so let me, I have two questions. I'll break these up. One, just when you're talking, I love that there are so many things. Like it sounds so layered. And I
Hmm.
was having a discussion with a client, interestingly, yesterday, and we were talking about, or she was telling me about how she tracks what she needs to do for self-care. Like she uses like an app that she said that she has like a daily list of 20 things and then like a weekend list. But yours sounds like much more free flowing, less rigid, but still giving you some structure. How did that come about? How did you develop all of these things that give you so much um that help
Well,
you set your day?
well, you find what works for you. Like, you may try a couple things. And for me, if it sticks, and if it works, if I see the results, then you know what though, I'm going to continuously practice.
And what about
Yeah.
for the ladies who are like, I don't have time to do all of these things and it sounds overwhelming for them. So you have like what advice would you give them?
My advice for those that say that they're too busy, this is your body, this is your life. Like, if you can't make time for yourself, I mean, I just think that even if it's 10 minutes a day, if you can't make time 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day for yourself, then I think that you need to, go back and kind of like not say do a a recheck. I mean, like yeah, you really do, because
Honest.
this is your life. And I think that too, not many people are still here. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, and I think that is really important for us to take things seriously. We take so much for granted, you know? And these little things are helping your body and helping your mind. And I think and too, the movement and exercise too, I think is just so, so important. I mean, that it helps with sicknesses, it helps you prevent certain things. So I would think of it as a preventative measure, you know?
I completely agree with you. And I think that that is key. I think that a lot of women are so used to being everything for everyone else and to actually do that, like I think it's easier to say I just don't have time to do this for myself. And I
Yeah,
think
no,
that
no.
you're very honest. Like it may sound a little harsh, but maybe a lot of women do need to reevaluate how they prioritize themselves.
No, it's very, very true, because I think that sometimes we think as women that, oh, that's selfish, but how is taking care of yourself selfish? Because if your cup isn't full, right? How can you help your kids, your mate? Because if you're stressed out, and we're human, you're gonna may or your kid does something and then you're like snapping or whatever. If you
Yeah,
learn to center yourself, then maybe you will handle certain situations a little bit differently, and or be a little bit more kinder to your spouse, because you're centered
absolutely.
yourself, and I think we're all are a work in progress, but the saying is, if you know better, you do better.
Absolutely. And I absolutely love that. Can I just tell you, looking at you, your skin is absolutely glowing.
Oh,
And so you're absolutely glowing. How is that?
Well, I started a skincare brand.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I started a skincare brand called Irie Aura Skincare.
I read
We
Aura.
are Irie Aura, and Irie is like good or happy, and Aura like good vibes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah. It was inspired in Los Angeles, and it was born in Jamaica. You know, it's like a farm to bottle. We have a farm to bottle approach, and yeah, it's all natural and organic. Uh, yeah, and
And so
and,
do
and it's
you
my new
make
labor of
these
love.
things? Do you make these things yourself?
I I do. I'm not sure that you know that, but when my husband was diagnosed with cancer
Oh,
a couple years ago, and I've always been like a DIYer. I always made things. I had sensitive skin my entire life. And so I was always just like, like, okay, I was following people's recipes basically.
right.
And I would make my deodorants, I would make that. But when my husband was diagnosed with cancer, I had to get serious. Like, I can't take that chance on just following recipes. So I went back to school for cosmetic science.
That's
So,
you're
so
like you're amazing. You say that like it's so nothing, but that's humongous.
yeah, I went back to school because I know that I'll get a lot of emails from people about KDW apparel. So when my husband got sick, I just stopped everything.
Yeah.
It was about taking care of him, making sure. So my life centered around making sure that my family was good. So
Yeah.
I couldn't focus on anything else because after COVID, after COVID, we couldn't do fashion anymore. So I started doing things for hospitals and like making like we were like producing, manufacturing like masks and hospital gowns, and I started doing stuff for the government.
Oh,
And so when my husband got sick, I'm like, you know what? I had a contract. I'm like, I can't.
yeah.
I can't do it. I have to focus on my husband.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what though? I need to know what I am doing. So, and because all of the prescriptions that he was getting for his skin was, so harsh, and it didn't really do anything. Like if you read the ingredients, it was petroleum and mineral oil. And now, how is that going to do anything except sit on the surface of the skin,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So I went back to school, learned how to properly formulate. So I'm certified now, a licensed cosmetic formulator, natural cosmetic formulator.
Wow.
And so I started making stuff for him. And mind you, I'm not sure if you know about, the cancers and the harshness of radiation and chemotherapy, like what that does to your skin. Like it, the blisters, the openings, it's just your skin barrier is just destroyed, basically. Um, and so I started making stuff for him. And so he starts going into his treatments, and they're like, "What are you using on your skin?" He's like,
Really?
"My wife made, she made some concoction." And they're like, you know, and his skin is starting looking really, really good. And so then everybody's asking him. So then, and the nurses started like asking me, like, well, can you make some for, have another, like, there's another patient. So I started like making stuff for like, just, I wasn't charging or anything. I'm just like, because during that time, I needed to feel as though I had a purpose,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then we had a couple of our neighbors and people that they knew that were going through the same thing. Isn't that strange? Like the same type of cancers, the same, so I'm making stuff for everybody, Shundell. I'm like sending stuff. And then their doctors are saying, like, what are you using?
Really?
Yeah. And then like maybe the eighth person, like their doctors. I got a phone call from somebody from UCLA, and and then I'm like, okay. My husband said, "Babe, I think you have something here."
That's a
Yeah.
Your story is like blowing my mind. Every single like sentence. I think that's incredible.
Yeah.
And
Thank
so,
you.
okay, so you did that, and then is that what did you decide? Okay, I need a bigger space to kind of grow my own ingredients. How did you decide to move to Jamaica?
Well, we knew that we were not going to live in the U.S. for the rest of our lives.
Okay.
So before we got together, that was the thing. My husband, maybe this is a little bit too much information, but he's like, but
Yeah.
he's like, before we really started dating, he's like, well, I don't want to, because my husband is Jamaican.
Okay.
And he's like, I really don't want to grow old in the U.S., so do you think that, that's something that you could do is like leave the country? And I'm very adventurous. And you know what? And Shondell, if I'm happy, I can be anywhere.
Right.
Okay? If I have a purpose,
I feel the same way.
yes, if I have a purpose, I'm good. If my husband and I are good, have a purpose, girl, I can be anywhere.
Yes.
And so we had like a 5 to 10 year plan to move because we thought that it would be Belize. But then after COVID, Belize wasn't allowing people to come to their country because of the infrastructure being so small.
Yes.
And, understand that. And so what we did, we said, you know what, Jamaica, my husband's from Jamaica.
Right.
We started coming, we started like when we were told that we could travel after COVID, we were on the plane, you
Okay.
know? And then when my husband got sick, our 10-year plan turned into a now plan
Okay.
because we realized that life is too short. And why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? And this gave my husband a chance to heal because, as I said before, I wish I could show you guys this being here amongst nature. When, the natural beauty of this place forces you to slow down and observe the world and nature around you.
Right.
Even like I was sitting here the other day and I'm looking at because I have this lovely coconut tree, and I was looking at two little beautiful little birds, and they're just singing, and I would never have paid that any attention. I was in LA.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
know, I would have never done that. And so it just gave him a chance to heal with the healing herbs, and and then what you eat, the vegetables, everything is fresh.
Yes.
Yeah, and the way that we farm here is like it's about renewal, regenerative. Everything is taking care of the soil. It's just a certain way in how you farm. It's kind of going back to how it was years ago when my husband's great grandfather was farming. It's like they take the same thing and repurpose it and give it a new name, but that's all
Yes.
that is. Yeah. So it's just that, and the soul is so rich here, Chandel. I'm gonna tell you. um we have a wall on the side of our property, and I had a pear, which is we call an avocado in the U.S. And I had, and the seed, but inside of that is the actual seed. So
And then inside of that is like the butter
well,
or
it's
what you can.
inside of the brown like little like it's not a husk, but I'll say a husk. But inside of that is a seed.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I throw this across the wall, which I thought I threw it across the wall. I did not. It landed. It landed like in our yard, in our garden bed.
Okay.
I have a tree that is growing that is, I kid you not, about like 3 inches.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and now, mind you, now the seed is inside of that, right?
Okay.
So I'm just trying to just explain to you how rich the
The
soil is
soil
here.
is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just yeah, it's
Because you
crazy.
didn't even nurture it.
I exactly. I didn't even have to.
Right.
The weeds and everything around it did it for it. So yeah, I didn't even have to. Now this um, um, tree is going to be so nutrient based because it relied on the other plants and of everything else to nurture it. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Katina,
Nature, I'm just learning
like
so
I'm
much.
completely fascinated by everything. I love your story. I I love the passion that you bring to what you do.
Yeah.
I think that, and obviously like just you being just so heart centered and leading with your heart and giving these products that you were making away, that doctors are seeing the
Yeah.
benefits and they're contacting you. That's beyond like I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I
really
didn't know that.
crazy.
um
Yeah.
I would have, my headline for the live would have been different. But I think it's fascinating. It's fascinating. I'm blown by your story. And I hate to, break it up, but it's, our time is up. But I just thank you so much for coming on.
Well,
I
thank
want to
you.
link to your product. I'm going to purchase your product. I have sensitive skin. And I'm, we're all getting older. So I want something that I'm always looking for to upgrade my products and to have something that's really nourishing. And just
Mhm.
to know that it came from somebody who generated it. Like you're not like a company out to just like prey on people and just steal our money. Like it's heart centered, your mission, your passion behind it, and that you've honestly had such amazing results. Like I can't wait to try it
Oh,
out.
thank you, Shadon. Thank you for having me. And I love what you're doing.
Well, I'm going to have you on. I have to talk to you about having you on my IG and TikTok live also.
Okay, I would love that. I would love that. And thank you so much.
I'm
It was
going
great.
to have you drop the link, or I'm going to drop the link in the chat so that anybody can check it out. And guys, when I do check it out, I will be back to like do a like product reveal and show you everything. I'm so excited. Katina, thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your weekend.
Oh, you too, my dear.
All
Bye.
right, bye. So Katina dropped off. I learned so much. I adore her. She is like who starts a fashion company, then starts, pivots to selling products to the government, like then starts a skincare company. And she had like a whole career before that, which I find super interesting. She just, I love to chat with her. I always learn something new. So, Katina, thank you for joining us. If you joined, I know that you took something away from that. How could you not? So you're just going to drop something in the comments and let me know what you took away from it. I'm going to drop the link to Katina's skincare line so anybody who can check it out, anybody who wants to can check it out. And guys, have a great rest of your day. Talk to you next week. Bye.